Hey guys, it's Terminator here. Today I'm going to show you a replay I played with Resonance22 and others of his viewers on his live stream from Saturday, I think it was. And let's just go straight into it. So I'm playing as the Orange Khmer, and since they don't require buildings to age up, I thought I would go for a greedy fast castle strat. Since I was pocket, I would go for knights, so... But, of course I forgot the bonus, so I actually did end up building buildings I didn't need. My flank was Byzantines, Tormacoy. It's about 1500-ish rated on HD. Our other flank was Master Jean. He was even lower rated, and here's Resonance22 playing as the Vietnamese. Gray was playing Aztecs, and we were opposed by the Britons, played by Barracks. He was quite low rated as well. And then we have Glupot with the Spanish. He was one of the almost 1800 rated on HD. And then the other pocket is the Malians, Johnny Jellyfish, and our flank was Malians again with Sluming Blah. So once again, you see, I'm starting to push deer, luring my rhinoceros. Unfortunately, I did take a water buffalo I didn't want to take, and yeah. However, let's see this. He's going for a drush, right? And the drush runs more or less directly into my flank. And he doesn't do anything to combat this. He somehow loses a couple of hit points here for free. Like, either you wall your villagers or you fight with villagers, but just remaining idle until you have a barracks up and you get extra men-at-arms or a militia out, that's just not the right choice. So he's hitting me as pocket with a drush, and I actually end up losing a villager because I totally did not think that was going to happen. Very unfortunate for me, and this delayed me quite a bit because I couldn't click up to Castle Age because I was short on gold. I had to flee with all my villagers to my TC to actually drop off the gold I needed to click castle. So that was a really late castle time for me. Quite unfortunate indeed. And the enemy pocket, he went for a boom. Malian boom, okay. But the other flank went for knights. So directly into knights, already got bloodlines, already got +1. And I'm just starting to send out knights without upgrades. So I'm even behind the flank here, which is unfortunate. Of course, I think I have a better eco than him, because I already put down 2 TC as extra. But still, that was not optimal. Let's slow down a little bit, because we do see a little bit of action. Resonance22 goes for knights as well. His flank is still feudal. I don't know what exactly he's doing. And my flank is going for a pikeman, defense, and a stable. Although he doesn't produce anything. Yeah, not the best run to run under a TC with knights with their upgrades. Of course, I'm versus the Malians, so they get camos, which is a straight up counter to my knights. Unfortunate, so I tell my flank to go for some monks, because my monks, of course, would take ages to go there. But in the end, I do end up sending villagers forward anyway. Yeah, so let's see. Resonance22 is kind of just running around with his knights, maybe fighting a little bit with green. Green also starting to get some upgrades. Not as committed as purple here, but yeah. So my flank actually goes for camels now. No upgrades as well. I start matching the other flank in upgrades now, because I feel I need to get those numbers up. I would have hoped that he sends his mob to heal my knights, but yeah, that took a little bit. Okay, I'm still trying to boom up as much as possible, figuring I might go up to Imperial now soon, and Unfortunately, the other Malian pocket, except of a couple of knights, quite a few knights actually. Yeah, he went for a lot of knights and started harassing Resonance. So Resonance couldn't do any damage, or didn't want to do any damage on red because he was behind, and didn't want to do too much damage on teal. I don't know why. But Resonance22 usually doesn't want to kill any of his viewers early in these team games with mixed rating, so I kind of understand that. He just wants that everybody enjoys the game. However, from my standpoint, I didn't want to save any of his viewers, and you see this army, 4 Kongs, 5 Kongs, and a lot of knights and camels. I'm pretty much defenseless in my home because I thought my flank might need me. So I think, okay, now the full pocket is on me. I might be able to help yellow on his side now. And this kind of wrecks my eco though a lot. So I need to get all the villagers back in there. Lose a lot of villagers in progress. Quite harsh rating. I should have walled up. I mean, I could have walled this side, maybe like that, and probably we should have had team walled. In a perfect scenario, we would have just team walled to create choke points that actually suited our map. We could have done that easily. I mean, really, we could. That would have been the sensible thing, but of course, this was a mixed-rated Euro game, so I didn't think of it, and neither did Resonance or anybody but Gray. I think Gray did most of the team wall, and maybe Yellow as well a little bit. So Resonance thinks, okay, he actually needs to help us on this side, because this side is like nothing happening. They're just like booming and not minding that they're enemies. This side is quite in turmoil. You see a lot of purple units running into us, and I didn't have anything versus the pikes myself, because I mean, transitioning into Scorpions in Castle Age might have been a wise strategy, but he still had so many Knights and Camels that would have just wrecked my army. And the Khmer, they get really subpar archery units. I mean, they do get decent crossbows, not with thumb ring though. I think I could have gone for crossbow, but that would have been another tech switch, and I really would not have needed any crossbows in Imp anyways. And I was up to Imperial, so I was hoping I could out-tech them, maybe mix them some gunpowder, and go from there. Unfortunately though, I was continuously raided by green, and yeah. I had some monks in my base, converted the camels, and had some knights near my base to actually control this side of my base again. Still 3 conquistadors not doing anything. So now the enemy pocket is Imperial before me, which is bad. He did quite a few knights, but he wasn't raided at all. So I think in a perfect setting, I should have done some raiding myself instead of just camping out here. But I was so focused on not letting my flank die because he was having quite a rough job versus all the knights and pikes by purple. And green was always roaming around the middle with his knights as well. He could have killed him a lot really fast. So I tried to reboom as much as possible. Still, my stun count goes up. Instead of putting down this, or maybe this castle was okay, but I think I end up putting down extra castles in the end game. I should have just walled. I mean, I could have almost done the team wall all by myself, but yeah. Didn't think of it. Maybe next time. I went for Khmer Cavaliers because they do get quite good upgrades. They don't get Paladin, but it's... Except that, they're really on par with, I think the Malians at least. Although I don't get the extra attack upgrades. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Still having the two Malian camels in here. And yeah, Resonance went for my secondary gold early on. That was quite funny. But, yeah. So, now we're trying to mass as much as possible. And I still didn't have my... Oh, I actually did do chemistry now. Just finished. Yeah, just finished. And so now I could start mixing in some hand cannoneers. Although versus Valiants, hand cannoneers aren't even that good. I think they do pierce damage, so they still are not the best versus this. As well as Scorpions, they also do pierce damage. So optimally, I should have gone for champions or something equivalent. Although I do not get champions, I do not yet plate armor, so my champions would have been not even close to enough to win this fight. Byzantine Cataphract would have been the unit of my liking here, but unfortunately my flank was not able to mass them and get the upgrades in time to actually provide a force we could push back with. That was unfortunate. So it was quite stally over here. I did not recognize Purple had nearly no army. Our scouting info was really bad for most of the game. As you see, this is what all my team has scouted. We had like no intel on Green whatsoever. We just know his CCs here because Resonance is actually Vietnamese. And yeah, Malian champions incoming. So now he's got his army set up, a lot of barracks, not much siege. I was gonna go for some bomber cannons to deal with his trebuchet. And yeah, my cavaliers would drain my gold really fast. And I actually thought, like, this corner was not visible to me. I didn't know that red was in this corner already taking the resources here. And gray was something doing like a Mexican standoff here, sending a couple of arbalists in here, and well, it's not like he could have done a lot 1v2. And Resonance was somehow versus Teal as well, so it was not completely 1v2, but he had a great deal of issues with the other pocket Malians who sent champions his way, and he didn't really have a good answer to that. Going back to my side, I actually do manage to get out heavy Scorpions. It's costing me quite a few resources. And I actually do quite well, especially because he doesn't even have sledging. And so I have the same range as his castle, which is quite funny. But of course, all can only last for so long. I do have the tech now with a few bolts for the Khmer as well. Donated my flank a couple of resources so he can spend them on his upgrades. But you see, he is Imperial, and you see how much resources he actually has at this point. Tormacoy. So he has 6k food, he doesn't have any gold. Why is that? So, first of all, his gold got denied here. I think this is his secondary gold. Not even touched. 4 gold missing. He ran out of his main gold. This might have been, I don't know, one of their secondary golds. I don't see which ones though. So he doesn't have any gold left except his front gold, which was his main gold, I believe. And he couldn't take for a long time because of the aggression coming in. And the secondary gold. And his other additional gold mine, let's see. Do I find my hotkey? No, I don't. Ah, here. Okay, so this was his other secondary gold mine, and it's actually already mined out. Maybe it was stone. I don't recall. At least he was out of gold, and he didn't use a market to actually trade a lot for gold to actually get upgrades. With 6k gold at this point, he could have gotten a lot of resources, to be sure. 50, at least 600 gold. And 600 gold would have helped him a lot here, because that would have made almost 1k gold. And he could have gotten some of his upgrades. So I sent him some additional gold as well. He used it to make troops, not upgrades. And if you're fighting fully upgraded troops, you should not waste your army before you have upgrades as well. That just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So this is a bomber cannon standoff. I didn't really have the time to watch the bomber cannons too much. I wasn't Portuguese. And I always thought that we would trade in this line, but I didn't know that this corner was nowhere in our control. And Resonance thought we would trade from there to there, although the battle line was here. So how should we keep that trade line safe? So I went ahead and I would build stone walls here to somehow create a safe-ish zone where we can do some trade. Although you see that by now the battle seems over pretty much. This was one of the forward castles I could have used earlier on to create some team walling here. This castle, it did protect some of my gold, although they didn't do as much raiding in the Imperial Age as they did before. Tried to kill some trebuchet in the castle, but yeah, we were outmassed. Tormacoy 70 pop, I at 149 pop, Resonance almost 170 pop, and Master Gene 45 pop versus Slumingblatt 138, almost as much as I had. Johnny Jellyfish almost maxed out. Barracks 121. That's who was the fourth one? I think that were all of them. So they had a lot more pop, they had a lot more army, they had the stronger army combination. And yeah, we didn't have any trade to come up for that. They did have a trade line already. And yeah, that pretty much sealed the deal for us. Raiding of the Spanish, Pocket coming in here, Gloopot killing a lot here. We have the most inefficient trade line ever, like ever. I get raided by Malian champions in my base. Resonance is sending his villagers to attack them. Quite heroic if you ask me. Yeah, and there isn't much I can do now. Trash versus these champions is not even worth thinking about, because whatever I produce, it wouldn't stand up to them anyways. And yeah. Seeing as I don't have anything else I can do besides scorpions, and maybe battle elephants myself, which are quite strong, but require quite a lot of gold, and without gold that wouldn't work out. And our trade line just standing now, where we're actually already dead. Yeah, try to mix in some light cav now, but it seems far from over. It's totally over. Yeah. So what we should have done, probably go for, at least my flank should have gone for some feudal rush at least, versus the drush, to keep him from going fast castle. I should have been there with probably double Sable Knights, getting some pressure on his eco as well. Maybe also the Pocket, who could do some Knights and some TCs early on as well. Taking like six damage. Yeah. That hurts. It hurts. It hurts. My Ikaro is pretty much dead. Don't really know what to do now. Flaring for Resonance to actually use the better trade line, but of course it's not really the better one since there's actually still champions running around here, and my base just got destroyed by a bunch of them. They've thrown on some extra seed workshops to try to prevent the unpreventable. Going for Beto, regular points though, and now it's pretty much GG. It has been for quite a while, and Resonance is going to call it now soon. Because of course he wants to play as many games with his viewers per stream as he can. And I think it was just as over as he thought. Especially our trade line, and that none of our teammates actually had trade that was worth taking. That was just the worst. Yeah. Oh, I did it. Wait. 119. So that would have been a nice trade line. But, of course, they even had the Spanish, so even better trade. Yeah. This side, I think it was not too unfair from the matchup. Two Malians means you need a lot of melee units or units that counter infantry. And in the end, my flank was not able to mass cataphracts or hand cannoneers, or I was not able to mass enough scorpions to keep this line from falling. And yeah, I got rushed a couple of times quite heavily, and I was unable to keep the production up, and my gold was dwindling a lot, even though I captured 3 relics and did my best to hold on. Our side was pretty much mined out of gold pretty soon. And yeah, we did also have the problem that we did not have even close to the amount of trade those guys had, especially in value. And let's see, here's looming blah. 74. Still a lot better than Resonance with his. Up. 15 gold versus 74. And then they also had a lot more trade cards. So yeah, that was totally GG. This side, of course, as well. Resonance was not able to hold versus some Malian champs and Spanish onagers, countering his ranged unit composition quite harshly. And some conquistadors for good measure. It was, from my perspective, it was maybe not the most fair balancing from the teams, but still I thought it was quite an interesting game for me because I didn't really have a lot of practice playing as the Khmer. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my casting, and I'll be back soon.